What is a frequency polygon and how do you plot it? Well, when you have grouped data like this, sometimes you're going to need to know how to plot it. So first thing we're going to do is, whenever we have this group data, is find a midpoint. So between 0 and 10, 0 and 20, excuse me, it's going to be 10. Between 20 and 40, it's going to be 30. Between 40 and 60, it's going to be 50. Between 60 and 80, it's going to be 70. And between 80 and 100, it's going to be 90. Okay? So now we can plot all of these points on the graph. So I'll give you an example. At 10 miles, the frequency is 3. So let's plot that on our graph. And now the next point. At 30 miles, the frequency is 8. So let's plot 8 there. At 50 miles, the frequency is 6. So let's plot 6 over here. At 70 miles, it's going to be 7. So let's plot 7 over here. Okay. And finally at 90, it's going to be 6. So let's plot that as well. Okay. Now, whenever we have a frequency polygon to show the data, what we're going to do is we're going to draw straight lines between each of the points. They're not going to be curved. They're not going to be zigzaggy. They're going to be straight. Okay? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points on our frequency polygon. Is this video helpful? Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video from me. Now let's take a look at this example. The frequency table gives information about the times it took some office workers to get to the office one day. Draw a frequency polygon for this information. Rightio. So first things first, let's find the midpoint on each of these. So I'll call this mid, right? Between 0 and 10, it's going to be 5. Between 10 and 20, it's going to be 15. And then it's 25. And then it's 35. Then it's 45. And then 55. Fantastic. Now what we're going to do is plot each of these points. So, for the first one, it's going to be at 5, 4, which is around about here. My grid is not the best here. There. Okay? At 15, it's going to be at 8. So let's plot 15 here. And 8 is around here. So there. The next point is 25, 14. So 25, 14, 25 is here. 14 is here. Yeah, here. So now let's plot the next point, which is 1635. 1635 is here. And 16 is, wait for it, there. Okay. The next point, 45, 6. So let's go to 45, which is here. And there's only 6, so we're going to have to go back down. Roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think that's 6. And then finally 55, 2. So at 55, which is over here, there's only going to be 2. And now let's plot straight lines to go between them. 1, 2. I'm going to do that again. There's no excuses. Those were terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is our frequency polygon. Write down the modal class interval. So the mode, if you remember, is equal to the most. Okay? So if we take a look at the frequency polygon, we can see the most common number is 16, which is between 30 and 40. Okay? Now, one of the office workers is chosen at random. So work out the probability that this office worker took more than 40 minutes to get to the office. Now, out of all of these intervals, which one is more than 40? Exactly, it's going to be this one, because it's more than 40. And it's also going to be this one, because 50 is above 30. How many people was that in total? Well, 6 plus 8 is equal to 14. How many people are there in total? 4 plus 8 plus 14 plus 16 plus 6 plus 2, which is equal to 50 people. So the probability is just going to be 14 over 50. And because it's a probability, you don't need to simplify it. Do you guys need more help? Make sure you join my Discord server to ask me any questions you want with fast responses guaranteed. Now let's look at the last question of the day. Very similar. The table shows information about lengths of branches on a bush. Draw a frequency polygon to show this information. Well, first thing we need to do is find the midpoint. So I'm going to call this one X for midpoint. Here it's going to be 5, here it's 15, here it's 25, here it's 35, here it's 45, and here is 55. Okay? So now, let's draw frequency polygon. For the first one is at 5. Again, this grid is not very good, but we know there's 20 people, so let's try and plot it as best as we can. I'm going to use darker colors here because they're a bit easier to see. Then it's going to be at 15, so 15 is here. There's only 12 of them, which is... no, not there. Nearly drew it at 20. Make sure you pay attention. The third one is at 25, and there's only 10 of them, so let's put it here at 25. Next is 35. There's 8 of them, so put 35 there. And there's only 8, so it's going to be here. Okay? Finally, 45. There's 6. There's 45. And there is 6. So we're done, right? Because this one's 0, isn't it? No. We still need to plot that there's 0 there. And that is our frequency polygon. Let's draw lines going through it so that it's... those are awful. Make sure they're straight lines. I know I'm using keyboard and mouse, but I'm going to still try and make them as straight as possible. Okay? And that is our frequency polygon. Work out the modal class interval. We can see that the highest number is 20, which refers to 0 to 10. Okay? Now, if one of the branches are chosen at random, work out the probability that this branch is less than 20 centimeters long. Okay? How are we going to work that out? Well, we can see that all the numbers less than 20 are those two classes, okay? Which leads to a total of 20 plus 12, which is 32. How many branches are there in total? The number of branches are 20 plus 12 plus 10 plus 8 plus 6, which is equal to 56 in total. And so therefore the probability is 32 over 56. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video made sense. Pass your exams with flying colours by getting tutored by me. drop me an email and we can organize a meeting. And a quote: keep on learning as you have no idea what you're capable of doing.